Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Debating for America's Youth. Today we have part two of an interview interviewing Taylor Hedrick. If you've not seen part one of the video, it'll be linked down below and it'll also be in the card above. Check it out. Taylor Hedrick is the national champion in humorous interpretation, and last year in the 2019 NSDA National Champions, she placed fifth in the nation. She's incredible, and she shares her advice to do well in humorous interpretation and to do well in speech and debate. Please enjoy the rest of the interview.
There is like nothing to compare it to because when I got on that stage, first of all, I never expected to be there. Never, ever, ever in a million years did I expect to be a finalist, much less a national champion. But when I got on stage, I saw everyone. There were like 2,000 to 3,000 people, and I looked out and I was like, oh no. And like that was my thought. And then I started my piece Turned Around last year. I don't know if you ever saw it or anything, but I started Turned Around, and right as I turned around, I took a deep breath, and then I popped into my first character, and then I turned back around, and I was fine. But because it was also kind of blinding because the lights were in my eyes, so I couldn't really see the audience that much. But it's absolutely, like, the adrenaline is unreal. Like, you feel just so overwhelmed with excitement and like nervousness at the same time. It's really awesome. I especially like in humor, it's easier to get up and perform because you're playing someone else. You're not like yourself. And I think that that's something that's made it easier for me. I'm a performer. I do theater like outside of speech and debate. So I'm pretty used to like playing characters, and like that's always been something that's gotten me over my stage fright because I don't have to be as vulnerable as I would be if I was just myself. So even if you are in a category where you don't have to play a character, or like if you're in debate, you can just put your headspace, like find a new headspace where like you're not necessarily you're like the competitor, like you're a different character per se, which helps me to do better. I start them like I'm like the mentor for humor at my school, so like I help out with like the new kids. And what I do mostly is just like put them on the right path, like with a simple speech, because your freshman year or like your novice year, you shouldn't start with something super complicated, because it's really, really hard to get that meticulous like in your speech when you're not ready. So I say you start with a simple speech and then add in your own like personality. So like we break it down, we do simple characters, and then throughout the season, then you can start adding in more, making it more complex. But like when you first begin, be simple. Don't like add in too much. Don't overwork yourself. Like you just got to get a feel for it before you can do too like more, you know. I do. So, well, within the month, so like I don't have tournaments between my national qualifying, or no, between state and nationals. So like I have a couple months where I don't compete at all with anyone. So what I do to train for it is I work on a stage. So I work on my auditorium stage. I'll do my piece there to like do that whole space, fill that whole space, and then I'll work in like a super tiny space because you want to have the contrast, because you want to know like if you can do it wherever you're putting, because you never know what rooms you're going to be placed in or like what your environment's going to be like. So I practice in every sort of environment, and then I have my friends watch me. I take a lot of videos of myself performing my piece so I can watch it and critique myself and like see what my body is doing, like what I sound like. So it's more like nitpicky. I have to like critique myself to like the full extent, like make sure everything is perfect.